G'day guys, what's going on? Supro here, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over the round 18 review. I scored 2,340. Surprisingly won all of my league games, which is awesome, considering I'm really only playing for league at this point. But I kind of want to get back into ranking. Like, I've still got a couple trades left, but then again I might stuff up my leagues if I decide to use all the trades. But I've got 3 trades left, so I might use one this week, try and fix up the side a little bit. But yeah, somehow managed to go up the ranks, probably due to English being my VC option, so that worked out great. The VC on English, absolute goat, absolute stitch up if you traded out English for like a Briggs or someone, but he's really bounced back now. 173, I think that's the highest score for the season for him. Looks like it is, yep. Yeah, which is great. Nearly at 700k, so hopefully, for next year, he's not going to be too expensive, but he'll probably be around 700k. Bit of a stitch up, but, he's a great ruckman. He just keeps evolving. Speaking about great ruckman, what about Max Gawn? 215, I think it was. Absolutely crazy stuff from him. He's one of those guys to maybe keep an eye on. 566k, not too bad. Break even 24. And with Grundy being out for probably the remainder of the year, unless he manages to somehow get back in the side, could be a good pod, I guess. What's the ownership? No, he's still in like 7% of the teams, but he's got a massive track record against all these teams here, so could be in for some massive scores. If you wanted to trade out like a Rowan Marshall or someone, maybe Briggs. Briggs, I probably would do that, to be honest. If you had the trades, I'd probably trade Briggs to him. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't trade out Marshall myself. He's had some pretty big scores this year. Just a shocking game this week, which is a bit of a stitch up. But, his run home isn't too bad either. There's a couple hard games in there, but some couple easy ones as well. So that'll be an interesting wait and see, especially this week against North. I think he should go pretty large. But I'll go with the side. So Dacos has been killing it. Sicily got tagged, which was a stitch up. Finally got him back after holding him for so long. And he gives me a 58, but can't really do much about that. And then Tom Stewart got 104, which is a bit of a surprise in the belting game. So I still don't understand how he scores so well. Just gets all the intercept marks, and he's really a good player, so that's awesome. Dawson was great, which was great as well, and Sheasel finally bounced back, which was good. And then we get into my first issue of the side, which is fielding Chesser. He didn't go too bad last week, but the fact that Zeeble keeps being the sub, they always activate him. It's so frustrating just for his scoring. He's going to score shit and drop in price. So I can't really move him on at this point. I probably should have traded him last week, but I just wanted to wait until this week, especially against St Kilda. I think they're 18th in the comp for defence. Last time he played him, highest score of the year, I think. So we'll give him one more chance. If he doesn't score 100 at least, or if he's named in the bloody as a substitute, surely not again. But if he is, we'll have to trade him out. It's bloody annoying because he's clearly in their best 22. I don't know if they're just trying to rest him or something, but it's frustrating. And then Bont was awesome as well in that game. I thought that game was quite good, to be honest. Probably one of the better games of the year. What was it, round 18? Pretty close one. Obviously wanted the Swans to win, so the Cats would potentially go up the ladder. Then Merritt, I had a bad feeling about it. I was half thinking he would go big if they were winning, but yeah, we just tagged him, so couldn't really do much about that. He'll bounce back against whoever they've got this week, I would imagine. Who they got? The Bulldogs, yeah, he should be bouncing back pretty strong, hopefully. And then Neil, bit of a down game from him. Bit of an upset as well. Bit interesting game, and Laird bounced back as well. He absolutely killed it, which is awesome to see. Be interesting to see how he goes this week. Still no Oliver, so he might actually go pretty large again. And Petrarca, if he's playing forward still, might be a good option for Laird. And then Brayshaw was lucky to score the score he's got, I believe. Who'd they play? Versus the Pies. I think he was like going to finish on like 104, and I was like, oh, surely not. But I think he might have gone up a few points in the last quarter, which is good. But yeah, that's a pretty good score against like the best team in the comp, so can't really complain about that. And then Walsh, thought he would go pretty large with like Kennedy and stuff out, but I think Chera might be out this week, so hopefully Walsh can bounce back to 100 at least. But yeah, he was pretty lucky to get 87, to be honest. And then Will Day went ballistic, which was awesome to watch. And then Cunningham just was cover for Tom Green, so he held on to Green. We'll probably have to trade him this week. We have that 71k in the bank, so that's good. And Dunkley, hopefully he'll come back as well. Otherwise, I might be in trouble. I'll probably have to field another bloody score of Ford or someone like that, which is a bit annoying. But it is what it is, just because, you know, we still have a fair few rounds left of the season. Goulden's been in great form, 110 average, which is awesome. Rosie's been great as well all year, just super consistent. And then Taranto bounced back, which was good. Butters, a bit of a groin injury, I believe, so hopefully he's not going to be out for too long. And then Cogs, 93. Bit of a surprise. I don't really watch GWS that closely, but I need to start watching him a bit closer, just because, you know, they did end up getting the win, and he's only getting 93. I think it was just a hard game to score, that one against Adelaide. Well, then again, Laird scored pretty good as well. But an interesting game. So yeah, we had Ford's score as well of 60, which you would take, not too bad. But anyway, just got to hope that Dunkley does come back this week. Otherwise, I'll have to field like, a couple rookies on the field. If Cunningham, you know. Oh wait, I can't really. I could put him on the bench maybe. Put Zeeble on the field. Hopefully he plays. This is his last week in my side. If he doesn't go well, we're trading him next week. So we might be actually going down to one trade, which may cost me for my leagues. But then again, I might have to just wait and see. I might just hold Zeeble throughout the finals, and then eventually luxury upgrade him if he doesn't start scoring well anymore. But yeah, I've seen a couple weeks of the evidence is here. You know, he's not actually scoring great at all, so it's a bit annoying. But he is the sub, so give him a full game, see how he goes. But for the moment, I'll probably just trade out Green. So this allows me to pretty much bring in anyone I want, except for like Petrarca, which is a bit of a stitch up. Kind of want to get in Petrarca, even though he does have that half forward role. I mean, he's playing a bit in the forward line as well, but he did kick 4 goals, only scored 113, which is a bit of a surprise. Still got a fair few touches as well, like 25 plus, I believe. And then, you know, Oliver's probably set to come back in at least another 3 weeks' time, so probably don't want to get him, obviously. Libba might be a good option. I could just afford Libba. But then again, I probably won't do that, just because I'll have to probably get a replacement for Zeeble, so that's going to be the issue. But I do not mind Libba at all. 11% of teams. Got a pretty easy run coming up here, which should be pretty good for his scoring. Otherwise, I also don't mind Darcy Parish. I think he's got quite a good draw as well. 4% owned. He's got West Coast and North Melbourne again, so he could go pretty large. Might just cost me in the grand final if I make it there in the league against Collingwood last round of the season. So, but yeah, he does actually play well against Collingwood, so could be a good shout to go with Parish, but he's more of a consistent scorer rather than like high ceiling games. Like he'll get more 110s than 130s and stuff. So if I could be good for like getting the points. He's still reasonably priced. Could could be an option to go with. I think he looks like pretty fit and ready to go. Scored 92 against the Cats, so pretty good score considering he got belted by 77 points, I believe. Probably wouldn't go near Anderson or Sarong. Well, Sarong's been pretty good, actually. He's at a good price at the moment, so for like what he's been scoring, he's pretty consistent as well. He's like Darcy Parish in that sense that is really consistent, so may consider him. Hopefully Sinclair can drop a bit more, and maybe I target him next week. For Zeeble, could be an option. I haven't really thought about that, but I don't think I'll be able to afford him because Zeeble has dropped so much in cash. But it's pretty annoying, to be honest, but probably should have just got rid of him when I had the chance. And then LDU was a guy I was also looking at getting in. He's a bit more of a pod, though. I think probably there's quite a few good players that are going well at the moment, and don't mind North's fixture either. It's quite good, except for the Demons, but I think LDU should go pretty well against the Ds, to be honest. He's a pretty good player, so definitely a guy to consider. I've got a lot of options to choose from here. And then Josh Kelly's another guy I was looking at. But do you want to replace Tom Green for Josh Kelly? And then when Tom Green comes back in, Kelly might start scoring poorly, and then you'll be like, why the hell did I do that? But 2% of sides, I might actually get Kelly, but maybe not this week. I might just wait on Kelly, wait and see with next week, especially he's got the 170 break even, so wait until he drops a bit. Then I might consider bringing him into my side. Another guy is reasonably priced as well is McRae. He's actually pretty cheap at the moment. Could be a little bit more cheaper next week as well. Could be another guy to look at, but I just don't think he's got the CBAs at the moment to bother bringing him into my side. And then I'll probably just go with Took, I reckon. Took's probably the one that I'll get. 103 break even. If I trade him in now, he's got 4% ownership, so I think he does look pretty good. Like, even though he wasn't playing his pure mid minutes just yet, he's slowly like building up to it. And he had heaps of goal assists and stuff. Always had an influence around the ball. He scored like 92 last week, I believe, and now he scored 101. So he's slowly building up for next week. Or this week against GWS, he should start to really find some form, hopefully. Does have a bit of a interesting fixture coming up here, though. But I think the Suns are going to be on the push for finals, for their first final berth. So definitely could be a guy to bring in, I think. And then if I am in the league grand final, got North Melbourne in round 24. So just got to hope that he gets through the rest of the season after the injury niggles the knee, I believe it was. But it's just frustrating. I'm trading these guys back into my side that I already had at the start of the year. So probably just do that for the moment. So yeah, Took is really cheap at the moment, so definitely want to bring him into the side. And then, because it was a matter of, who do I think is a better player out of Zach Butters and Tom Green this year? It has to be Zach Butters. So I'd definitely hold on to him. And then, I get the feeling that Dunkley might actually not play this game against the Cats this week, but I hope he does play just for my SuperCoach team. But otherwise, it's probably going to be a win for the Cats if he doesn't play. That's just bias. But anyway, probably have to field forward again for Butters this week unless he pulls through, which he might be able to pull through, which would be clutch. And yeah, just hopefully Zeeble can play. And then that will leave me with 102k in the bank, where I may decide that I will have to trade out Zeeble. And then I can just swing Will Day into the defence line. And then to replace Will Day, I'll probably just get Josh Kelly, I think. If he drops another pod, which will be good. I think Took's pretty highly owned, to be honest. 4%. But Yeah, I could probably just have a massive pod again, bring in Callie. I think his scoring's been pretty decent, besides that 23. I think he should go pretty well. And, Essendon, he's got a high score of 176 and Carlton 205, so should be pretty good for the league as well, just in the finals. So I think he's a pretty safe option here. They'll also be pushing to make the finals as well. Kind of looks like he's the highest scoring player from the Giants. Maybe Toby Green can score pretty well as well, but I feel like Callie's the guy for SuperCoach. He just is always hovering around that 600k mark. I mean, what did he start? Around 580, he's got up to 600k there. But he never really drops below 580. So just because he had an injury or whatever it was, I can't remember. Maybe he got subbed out. But yeah, I can't remember what happened to him. But yeah, he's pretty consistent, and I think, I should be able to just afford him, hopefully. If I trade Zeeble out for him next week, hopefully just got the right amount of money and he doesn't really drop that much. He does have a fairly high break even, so this might be a bit of a worry for me. Otherwise, hopefully I can just hold him for another week or two, I guess, because Callie's going to be dropping anyway with that 170 break even. So probably, but he might go pretty big this week against Gold Coast. But yeah, I think this is what I'll line up with, especially because Took was the third highest price midfielder at the start of the year, I believe, 662k. Yeah, definitely grabbing him. So definitely the guy for me. And then it's just a matter of who did I actually want in my side. Probably want Max Gawn. I've got Butters now, but he's injured, so hopefully he's going to come back. Probably want Sinclair. Probably won't be able to afford him though, or get him in anytime soon. Any obvious ones that I'm missing? Oliver or Petrarca potentially, but I think I'm just going to have to miss out on those guys. But yeah, I think those guys aren't really that highly owned in the top 1%, but they may be. I'd have to double check that. But anyway, I'll probably line up something like this. Probably use Cunningham's cover over forward if one of them aren't playing. If they're both not playing, then I'll have to swing Dunkley into the midfield and play them both. So that means I'll still have two rookies on the field, and I just got to bloody pray to God that I don't have to field Chesser again this week, which was an absolute nightmare. But yeah, I think Zeeble should be back surely. They play on the Sunday as well. He'll have enough rest time if they're worried about that. But in terms of the captaincy options, I haven't really thought about it that closely. Maybe we have a cheeky VC on Sam Walsh if Chera's not playing. But I don't know. He doesn't historically score that great against West Coast. Bond maybe, or English, especially English if he doesn't. If Draper's still not back, definitely would be a good option. There's a bloody 200 in there, so I think we're going to have to put the VC on English. Pretty obvious one would be. Then Merritt's in the same game. How does he go against the Dogs? Not the greatest, surprisingly. Maybe Taranto probably gets a tag, though, to be honest. Pretty consistent scores there. Not really sure who to go with. Maybe Neil will go pretty large against the Cats. But if it's only him and not Dunkley, he'll definitely get tagged. So that could be a bit of a worry for his scoring. But then again, he usually plays well against us. Brayshaw against Sydney, or maybe Goulden against Freo. That could be an option. Oh shit, he got a 156 last time they played, so I I think that was like his biggest score of the season. So maybe if you want to have a punt, chuck the C on Goulden. Otherwise, I can't really think off the top of my head. Maybe like a Rowan, if he can bounce back. Probably a shit call, but I'd probably go with... who would I go with? Maybe just Took again, but I don't want to jinx it. Because last time I put the C on Took, he got bloody injured, so probably won't do that. Just because it's the first week of owning him again. I don't want to jinx it. Who else? We'll just probably chuck it on Laird for the moment. Does he have good... I think Laird should be, if he's right to play, that is, I think he should be a good option realistically. Otherwise, where does Cogs go, eh? Cogs goes pretty good against Gold Coast. Bit of a left of field option, I guess. They haven't played each other this year, so be interesting to see how Cogs goes. But yeah, I'll probably do something like this. Otherwise, I'll just leave a comment down below what I'll actually do if I change my mind. But I think this is how I'll line up. I think bringing in Took Miller is definitely the way to go. Then 102k in the bank. So hopefully I can just trade Zeeble to Kelly next week. Swing Day into defence, and then I'll be sorted. Just running one trade for the rest of the year. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you're going better than me. You actually have a full primo side. But yeah, cheers for watching, and see you later.